Hi everyone, welcome to Writing Stories with myself, author L.M. Spilsbury, and the L is Louise, and my good friend Kimberley D. Tait, who is also an author. In this session, she's going to talk to us about a interesting engagement she had on social media, and said she would title it Author Beware. Over to you, Kim.
Yes, so of course we all know these Facebook writing groups that we probably all belong to, a whole bunch of them. And, the trouble with being an author, or actually the trouble with anything, is that there's always people out there who are looking for an opportunity to worm their way into your wallet and get some money out of you. And most of the time, and I wouldn't even so much as call them scams, because, sometimes they're not really scams. They're just people who are just desperate, and they want your money. And we've had this conversation before that, everybody gets paid except the author, which is kind of unfair. But that's life as a writer, I guess. You need people to help you, and of course, they deserve to be paid for their time. So I had an interesting experience this week with somebody who began to engage with me on one of these Facebook groups. I won't mention the name, but he was touting himself as being quite the professional, 30 plus years in the business, had a lot of experience in film industry, and had books published, and was quite a smooth talker. Like, literally, this guy had a voice like smoke. And so anyways, we started to engage, and he popped up on one of my posts where I had posted my cover for A History of Lightning, and I was bemoaning the fact that I had posted it somewhere else, and all I got were negative comments. It was quite shocking, actually, that not one person had a nice thing to say, and the post was actually deleted because the negative comments were getting quite on the verge of actual bullying, which, hey, I can take it, whatever.
Well, it sounds like mob mentality there.
It was, yeah. It was like everyone started to almost try to outdo each other. And I took it with a grain of salt. But anyways, getting back to my story. So this person popped up on my post and said, basically, oh, I can help you. I can help you. Your tagline is pretty good, but it's not great. I've had years of experience in the film industry, and and he kept sending me these voice messages that were like 15 minutes long, touting, the things that he
Now,
had
sorry,
accomplished.
voice message, actually a voice message?
You can leave a voice
It's not
message.
typing, in other words.
No, it's on your messenger, but you can speak your
Okay,
message instead of typing it all
gotcha,
out.
okay.
So I was actually
Yeah,
able to hear
sorry,
his.
I'm a Luddite.
I know.
Anyways,
You
carry
have.
on, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so I was able to hear his voice, and like literally, this guy was the quintessential smooth talker. So I listened to his spiel, and I was thinking to myself, there were a few red flags, just because I thought, this guy is just such a smooth talker. My hackles immediately went up, and I'm thinking, he's trying to sell me something. This is just my very suspicious nature. I didn't fall off the vegetable cart. Yes, I've been around the block a few times. But anyways, I thought, well, I'm going to just hear him out and see what he has to say. And he was telling me, go to my website, have a look around, and look at my YouTube videos, and you'll see what a great guy I am. And he was just trying a
Okay.
little too hard. So I was like, all right, I'll take you up on your offer. So I went to his website, and I looked at his YouTubes, and I was just like, okay, well, if I had half of his confidence, I would just be such a more successful than I am right now. But anyways, we're all trying hard in this industry, and I'm not going to knock the guy down because that's just not in my nature. But it was a little suspect to me, so I couldn't find him on Amazon, so I had to go digging around to see if I could find his books. I noticed that he hadn't published on Amazon. And so I actually had to go down a few rabbit holes, and I did finally find some reviews for his books on Goodreads, and they were not they were not nice. And it wasn't just one star review. There were quite a few, like the bulk of the reviews were 1 stars. So I figured, well, everybody can't be wrong, right? I mean, that tells me something. And I read the reviews, and it wasn't so much the stories themselves. Yes, people were knocking the stories too, but it was, there were editing issues, there were spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, and so I guess the moral of the story is that you have to watch out for the wolf in sheep's clothing as an author, because I myself, being old enough to know better, was able to kind of see through the smoke screen, but I would worry that somebody else might not be able to. And he eventually was trying to get me to work with him as an editor, as a content editor, and I'm very happy with my 2 editors, and he wasn't doing the hard sell, which was very interesting. It was a very soft sell. He reminded me of one of those little angler fish, that you see, and they bait, and so he was like baiting me. Come to me, I am putting the little worm on the hook, and I'm baiting you. So it wasn't an overt sales pitch, but he was pretty darn good at what he was doing, because I thought to myself, if I wasn't an old crotchety old woman, I might have fallen for this. So it's just a story to put out there to warn people, just do your due diligence and do some research on people if they're offering to help you. Don't take everything at face value. It's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to do some research and to look into these people and, prove it. Prove to me that you are able to do what you are claiming to do. So that's the moral of the story, and authors have to be careful, because, the vultures come out of the woodwork as soon as, if they can get into your wallet, they're going to try. So,
well, it's a very interesting story, because I think that I've been approached by the same person. I can't remember the name, but the whole thing about the film industry and everything sounds very familiar. I think my reaction was, if you're such a big deal in the film industry, why are you
trolling on Facebook,
bothering with me? Because I'm like a beginning author. I have no real following, and nobody really knows about me. And you'd think that if you're that good, that you'd have people flocking to you, and you wouldn't have to be pounding the pavement. And I didn't follow up. And he, now with me, it wasn't voice messages. It was a couple of emails and posts on my Facebook page. But I was very polite and just said thank you, but no thank you. So yes, for sure, as an author, definitely there are a lot of people who are trying to use you as a source of income. Mm-hmm. And the trouble is, as an author, until you have a big enough following, you're investing a lot of money up front and not making a return. And I can certainly understand that the promise of making it big would be quite a lure to many people, because it isn't easy, I think, to make a profit. And it becomes a question of how much do you invest, mm-hmm. and where do you draw the line of how, where do you not invest? Because I know that I'm investing in editors and I'm investing in many things. There are some things like a book cover, you have no choice, you have to have that. Other things are maybe more discretionary, and they all add up. And they all add up very quickly. So, yeah, it's a very interesting story, Kim.
Just be
So,
aware, just be aware
mm-hmm,
of the potential. I mean, you don't want to live your life being paranoid, but you do have to be very careful and just do your due diligence and just don't take things at face value. And a lot of times you have to do a lot of serious digging to find out that these
yeah,
people are not who they say they are. So,
yeah. Well, on that note, I guess we'll say goodbye to everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in.